This negativity, by the way, every pain is punishment for sin. This is not Jewish, this is Christian. And even the Christians don't buy it anymore. So we've got to get rid of this. This is like stuff we picked up along the way, thinking it's Judaism. It is not Judaism. In fact, we use the expression, God is brought to tears, tears of nachas and pleasure. Do we mean that literally? Yes. Yes. God is not a perfect little statue with no feelings, no needs, no pain, no pleasure. That is not Jewish either. That God is too perfect to bother or be bothered, that's not Jewish. That's not written anywhere in the Torah. That's another religion. The Torah tells us right from the beginning. Why did God choose Noach to be the one to be saved from the flood? Because Noach found favor in God's eye. Is that a little too human to attribute to God? No. We have a little bit of godliness, so we also have feelings. But he has the real thing. We're just a copy. So if we have feelings, if we have sentiment, if we can cry from good news, certainly he can.
My rabbis, they taught me that everything that you just said is kfirah. Everything you just said is heresy against Hashem. Why? There's no such thing as mistakes. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed my leg to be cut off, it was the right thing to do. Maybe they made a mistake, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not make a mistake. Why? We learned from Gemara Masechet Chulin, page 7b. Says that if a person gets a needle, a prick in his finger, he's sewing something, or she's sewing something, and by mistake he pricked his little finger, a little blood comes out, ouch, a little baby, cry a little bit, put a little band-aid on, tell your mother to kiss it. Okay, after that, he has to delve on it, like, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? Why did Hashem allow this needle to pierce my skin and have some blood? He's actually supposed to be asking a much deeper question. What's the question? Not why did this happen only, but how long did it take the Bet Din in Shamayim to review, to analyze, to conclude that I deserve this? Why? Because before every little prick goes into a finger, before every little pain that you have in your life actually gets decreed from heaven, there's a Bet Din in Shamayim that has to decide, guilty. Let it happen. So the rabbi tells them, before they decreed in Shamayim that I have to lose my leg, you know how much they reviewed? They reviewed my whole life. They reviewed your life. They reviewed his life. They reviewed everybody's life. Why did they review everybody else's life? It's only my leg. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a system of reward and punishment. The reward and punishment is not only on the person that's directly affected, but rather on the people that are indirectly affected. Meaning, before he cut my leg, he decided, let's see, he deserves it for whatever he did to lose his leg. But what about his wife that's going to suffer also? What about his son that's also going to suffer? He's not going to be able to play with him anymore. What about his wife that's going to have to take care of him? What about the doctors that are going to have to treat him? What about his neighbor? What about his partner? What about his dog? What about his cat? What about everybody else that's going to actually endure this pain? What about his long-lost friend that he hasn't seen in 20 years, but it's on the way to town, and he's going to see him for 5 minutes? When he sees him for those 5 minutes, he's going to feel bad about it, that his friend from 20 years ago lost a leg. Does he deserve it also? Before they cut my leg, they had to do all of that judgment, all of that analysis. Which means that by the time they decided it, it's impossible for it to be a mistake. The only reason we think there's mistakes in the world, like, oh, it shouldn't happen to me, it can't happen to me, I can't believe it's happening to me, all these types of things that people say, is simply because we have one-dimensional vision. We see things just what's in front of us. There's a wall, we see the wall. We don't see what's behind the wall. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the beginning, middle, and end all at the same time. And the less a person questions Hashem, the easier their life is going to be. Now, the Bet HaLevi continues, and he says, Hashem has a solution to the problem even when you think it's hopeless. Everything is in a ledger and the hand writes. Everything's been written down and Hashem is writing everything. Whoever wishes to borrow, let them come and borrow. All are welcome to ask for whatever they want. But the collectors make their rounds constantly every day and collect payment from the person. He says that Hashem has collectors. What are these collectors? What are these collectors? Suffering. Nisuim. The Gemara in Masechet Avrechim, page 16a, teaches that even the slightest inconvenience, such as you go into your pocket to get a quarter, and instead of getting a quarter, you get 10 cents. It's a little annoying. You wanted a quarter to put it in a toll booth. You wanted a quarter to buy, a piece of gum. Hopefully it's kosher. But instead, you got 5 cents. So what do you have to do? You have to go back into your pocket. That is also considered a very, very low level of suffering. Hashem says that's one of the collectors. Hashem sends you suffering because that's the way He communicates with you. He sends you suffering because that's the way He has to wake you up. Because without Him waking up, we may stay asleep our whole life until we eventually wake up and it's too late. So the collectors that make their rounds every day, Rabbi Akiva says, this is a figure of speech for death and other forms of punishment that are visited on the man. All of life's pains and difficulties are God's messengers to collect payment for one's moral debts. The greatest investment that a person can possibly do is to invest as much as possible into Cube.
I urge you to open up your heart, open up your wallet, support this incredible cause by donating. You're not only helping others, but you're also opening the door to divine blessings in your own life by really setting Hashem's children on the right track. Let's make a difference together, one person at a time. Thank you, and may Hashem bless all the sponsors and grow the Bezrat Hashem organization.